Dharma Bites is brought to you by Free Buddhist Audio, the Dharma for your life. Our work is funded entirely by donations from our generous listeners. If you would like to help us keep this free, make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. Thank you, and happy listening.
On this weekend, what I've come to realise is that we've been creating the mind of bodhicitta. And then I was thinking, everything you say in the Dharma is sort of wrong, isn't it? Because I thought, it's not creating the mind of bodhicitta. It's something like channeling the mind of bodhicitta. Channeling, again, probably isn't quite the right word. Being a conduit for the mind of bodhicitta. That's what we've been doing on this weekend. And we've been doing that, in everything that we've been doing that by exploring the 8 verses for training the mind, both in our 2 wonderful talks and then in our chapters. We've been doing it through practicing the bodhicitta practice, and we were just so beautifully led in that. Really, really wonderful leading of the bodhicitta practice, and we've been doing it through practicing our pujas. And we've been doing it by practicing in large numbers. And when I say practice, of course, I don't mean just meditating together in the shrine room. I mean all our activities we've been doing together, whether it's the washing up, being engaging so fully in our chapters and meditating in the shrine room here. We've really been looking at in more and more depth at the 8 verses for training the mind. So I'm just going to remind us of how we've been looking at them. Straight away, Ratnadharani, in her first talk, reminded us that these 8 verses have got this sort of threefold aspect of view, of practice, and of action. And that action is moment to moment. So again, it's not just when we're meditating in the shrine and we're meditating elsewhere. It includes that, but it's moment to moment action. These 8 verses are a direct challenge to ego clinging. They're a direct challenge. They're a direct way of working with the Atma Kleshas. You can never have a direct way of working with the Atma Kleshas, of course, because they're below the level of consciousness. They're pre-conscious. They're not even subconscious. They're pre-conscious. So all the time, in a way, what makes Dharma practice and not something else, not some other type of practice, is that we are trying to work with the Atma Kleshas. We're trying to work with, isn't even quite the right word, is it? We're trying to turn them round, those pre-conscious views, beliefs about life, those common sense views. We've got to somehow find a way of completely turning about, as we say, in the deepest seat of consciousness. That's what makes Dharma practice. If it's not that, it's not Dharma practice. It might be very good practice, but it's not Dharma practice. So that's what we've been trying to do, and it's very, very strong practice. And as I say, it's completely counterintuitive, because what we're doing is we're taking situations where it's normal to react and actually using those reactions as a pointer to ego clinging. It's terribly exciting, isn't it? So instead of kind of making a drama out of our reactions or it's like something like, don't take the Atma Kleshas personally. The Atma Kleshas are just why we are. So don't take them personally. Don't make a drama out of them. But use them as a pointer to ego clinging, Subhuti famously said, our reactions are where the Atma Kleshas break the surface, So because they break the surface, then there's an opportunity. So we cherish our reactions if we can use them properly. So the opportunity is to practice, it's a spiritual death practice working in this way. That's what the opportunity is, and develop this new mind of bodhicitta, or let the new mind of bodhicitta flow through us. And I loved it when Shantavadri said, when we talk about the world, what we really mean is other people. That's what we really mean when we say the world. And practicing like this, we're seeing other people not as a nuisance, and not as a barrier to our Dharma life. So easy to do that, isn't it? To actually, so foolish, isn't it? So silly when we think about it. But we actually believe that other people aren't just a nuisance, they're stopping us practicing. That's obviously wrong, but amazing how many times I believe it, even in the course of one day. So we realise that other people aren't a nuisance, they aren't a barrier to life, even Dharma life, but they're a rare treasure. And this is why they're a rare treasure, because they give you the opportunity to overcome ego clinging. That's what they really do. So the sort of heart of these verses is to realise that when you feel someone's hurt you, even if they have, right, that's the key thing, even if they probably have, they're rotters, other people. They probably have hurt you deliberately. The very people you've helped, they probably have hurt you. What they've actually done is they've faced you with your illusions. They've faced you with your unrealistic expectations, and false beliefs, about life. Life breaks its promise. That's what Shantideva tells us. In an instant, life breaks its promise. And that life is in the form of other people. They're constantly betraying you. That's our opportunity. I hope that's our sort of takeaway message, as it were, from this retreat, to use these obstacles as an opportunity. And I want to say something about that. Is that we've got to realise it for ourselves. So you can't hit other people over the head with that either. If somebody's just, somebody's girlfriend or boyfriend's just left them, don't you say to them, "Oh, this is an opportunity for insight." That's not going to work. But if you are that person who's been betrayed, you might, and what I hope we all do more and more, is ask our chapters, ask our fellow Dharma farers to help us to use this as a dharmic opportunity, to see it in a dharmic way. And we'll need those other people to help us to see that, because it won't feel like that. It will feel like the worst thing that's ever happened. The last thing we'll be thinking is that, but other people can help us. It's because it's so counterintuitive. It doesn't make any sense in a way in the sort of in the mundane existence. It doesn't make any sense in samsara. Completely counterintuitive. And in a way, we're moving on this morning to talks on forgiveness, 3 personal talks on forgiveness. Forgiveness, from the worldly point of view, is counterintuitive. The ego sustains itself by blaming. That's what I was saying yesterday. In a way, you could say that's what an ego is. It's a mechanism to sustain itself, and it does that by blaming. So forgiveness means letting go of egoic reactions, It means letting go of that. So in a way that's brilliant, isn't it? Because it's a decisive way we can't directly work with this pre-conscious clinging, but we can work through forgiveness, and it sort of filters down, as Ratnadharani says. That's one very strong way to work. And in practicing forgiveness, we're making a decisive shift to the creative mind. So we had that in the reading last night. The creative mind, remember, loves where there is no reason to love. And we're making that decisive shift. So practicing forgiveness is a spiritual death practice. It's definitely an insight practice. It's a practice to develop or better channel the new mind of bodhicitta.
We hope you enjoyed today's Dharma Bite. Please help us keep this free. Make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. And thank you.